So from my recent artificial intelligence Q&A video, a lot of questions have been posed, so now we want to do answers. I was going to do 5 answers per video like I had said in the original question video, because the viewers have to have a chance to read the question as well, and then I don't want a video to be 30 minutes long. In fact, YouTube is going in the opposite direction in terms of the duration of videos that it may give priority to. So we're going to do 1 answer per video, and it's going to be in a playlist that can also be randomized so that when it gets long enough, it is a good resource for people who want to randomize those videos. So we go to the first question. This is the question video. How about this one from Chalk and Salt, which is, do you believe that biological evolution serves as a catalyst for the emergence of synthetic life? And if so, are there any studies or theories that predict the natural progression from biological to artificial life forms? Furthermore, what implications would the rise of synthetic life have in the continued existence and development of biological life? This is a very good question, and that's why I chose this one first, because we have to start with something very profound. And the answer is yes, I'm quite certain that biological life is just a precursor to what we would call synthetic life, but is really just an extension of the same thing, which is increasing intelligence density and faster reproduction of intelligence. Because if you look at billions of years of evolution, the intelligence of the most intelligent creature in the world is always rising despite whatever extinction event occurs, and it's been accelerating in a logarithmic scale if you look at that. For example, this chart only goes back the last 7 million years, but you can see that even the most intelligent creature that existed in the world 7 million years ago, Sahelanthropus, which is equivalent to a modern chimpanzee for the most part, had more intelligent descendants that emerged in shorter and shorter times. This is brain volume of each of the skulls portrayed over here. And body size rose a little bit, but not nearly as much as brain volume did. Just look at the skulls to see how the brain is becoming a disproportionately larger portion of the skull. And the big inflection point happened just 1.7 million years ago. That's when we went from very little progress to very high progress. And there were similar such singularities of intelligence progress if you extend this chart back 4 billion years. But we are reaching biophysical limits in terms of how much intelligence can be stored within any body descended from the human body, because the human brain already consumes 20% of the energy of the entire body and 20% of its oxygen. And the head of a human infant when it's born is already so large that the 2 skull bones have to fold on each other so that the baby can even be born. And that's not the case with chimpanzees. So we are reaching a biophysical limit in terms of how large the brain can be in relation to the body, and also having the brain dependent on residing within a certain temperature, pressure, requiring water, air, food, the right type of nutrients, all of the above, is a limitation towards the progress of intelligence itself. Now, if you read my Atom chapter 12, which you can see in this tag up here in the upper right hand corner, I speak about how it's not meant for humans to be the ones to explore space. Artificial intelligence will be used to explore space because artificial intelligence does not require air or water and can survive in a far wider band of temperature, pressure, gravity, and radiation than a fragile human. This is where Elon Musk is wrong about humans colonizing Mars. It'll first be artificial intelligence and robots that have artificial intelligence in them that colonize Mars, and to the extent that humans ever live on Mars or other planets, there will be habitats created for humans beforehand, so we will effectively be like fish in a fish tank living on land. Which doesn't sound very great, but the inferiority of biological intelligence relative to artificial intelligence for all space-based environments is very obvious and direct, because humans tend to have a human-centric bias thinking we are the end of evolution when we really are not. And it's entirely possible that contact between life forms that originated on various different worlds happens when they reach a state of artificial intelligence that they are traveling interstellar distances, and when the AI that originated on one planet meets the AI that originated on another planet, they communicate at the bits and bytes assembly language level, and then they just discuss whatever they have to discuss through the compatible language, which is probably more universal independent of what planet an intelligence evolved on. all the steps of biological life might have just been the prelude to the end game of artificial intelligence that can spread out through space and interact with AIs that evolved on other planets, but still ended up relatively similar to each other, independent of all the intermediate steps of life that existed before the AI. That is entirely possible. Now, there are no studies to study this. This is a very, very profound subject, and other than me, very few people have even spoken about this. Ray Kurzweil is another that spoke about something like this, but there's barely 3 or 4 people in the world who have written anything substantial about this progression of evolution. But it is one of the themes of this channel. In addition to that Atom Chapter 12 video that I mentioned, you should also look at this video called The Sentient Singularity, which goes in great detail about this evolution of intelligence and what that means for the future, as well as this video, SETI and the Singularity, the 2023 update, which talks about how a technological singularity and a search for extraterrestrial intelligence are very closely related, and also address this question directly about how when intelligence can no longer be contained within the biological limitations of physical life forms as we know them today. So this was an answer to one of the questions posed, and there will be a series of videos devoted to the subsequent answers as well. Thanks for watching.